The hollow echo of lasgun fire resonated through the twisted metallic corridors of the orbital warp gate. The strobing lights of hellguns and plasma lighting the walls in twisted and grotesque shapes that changed with each blasting beat. Their incomprehensible shapes writhing and turning due to the power of the warp. General Eloise Causwain stood resolute in the heart of the storm, her heart pounding like a war drum against the chestplate of her carapace armor. The men and women of her elite Tempestus Scion forces held their positions, their disciplined fire creating a deadly perimeter against the grotesque onslaught of demons that seethed around them. Outside the gate in the cold black void, the cataclysm began. Causwain's eyes were drawn to the grey streak, a lone vessel, its profile unmistakably that of a Grey Knight strike cruiser. She knew then what was to come. Her breath hitched, her throat dry.
Grey Knights,
she muttered, her voice a rasping echo in her helmet.
May the Emperor guide us.
The comms cracked to life, a voice speaking with the cold determination of the shield captain Aurelian.
General, Exterminatus has been declared on halt. Evacuation protocols have been initiated by Adeptus Custodes and Astartes personnel. You and your forces... I'm sorry.
Anger flared hot in Causwain's chest, igniting her words.
Sorry, that's it. We've given everything for this damned world. We've bled and died for it. To be abandoned?
Her words echoed back at her from the comms, met with a solemn silence. Her anger turned bitter, replaced by a cold resolve.
Very well. If this is how it ends, we'll make them remember our stand. May the Emperor protect us.
She switched off her comms, turning to face her soldiers, their eyes reflecting the war in her own.
Listen up, Scions. We've got a swarm of nightmares coming our way, and the Imperium has decided to wash their hands of Holt. But I'll be damned if we give these warp-spawned monsters a free ride.
A murmur of affirmation rang through the Scions. Colonel Estoc, commander of the 17th Avalonian Air Cavalry, a stoic figure amidst the maelstrom. Wisps of demonic ichor fading into nothing as it smoked off his armor and power blade. He just nodded, and although she couldn't see his face, she could feel his determination. As the warp gate shuddered with the arrival of more demons, Causwain primed her power sword, its blade humming to life, casting an eerie glow into the flickering lights of the besieged station.
We are the people of Avalon, the spear of the Emperor, and if we're going to die, we will die with our boots on and lasguns firing. Take these wretched demons down with us. For the Emperor!
For the Emperor!
Echoed her soldiers, their voices a defiant chorus against the discordant howls of the warp. The last stand of General Eloise Causwain had begun. As the Grey Knight's devastating payload rained down on Holt, lighting up the planet in a firestorm of destruction, the 17th Avalonian Air Cavalry fought on. The warp gate, once the key to their strategic victory, had now become their final battlefield, an island of desperate resistance amidst the chaos of the warp. But if Causwain could kill it, her final stand could still be a victory. Fighting like fury unleashed, Causwain let out an inarticulate growl. Each stroke of her power sword cleaved through demonic flesh, her las pistol barking death at any who dared approach. Her determination, her bravery, her sheer indomitable will echoed in the hearts of her soldiers, spurring them to fight on, even in the face of oblivion. And so, as Holt burned, each heartbeat as a warrior's drum, each breath as a whispered prayer to the Emperor, General Causwain and her soldiers held their ground, their defiant stand transforming the warp gate into a monument of their resolve. Demons fell before them, warped bodies crumpling under the unrelenting fire of the Astra Militarum's finest. Meanwhile, the Exterminatus continued. The Grey Knight's payload scoured the surface of Holt, its cataclysmic energy purging the world of life. It was a spectacle of destruction and salvation intertwined, a testament to the lengths the Imperium would go to combat the dark forces that threatened it. Yet, amidst the overwhelming fury of the Exterminatus, the warp gate held. Its steel structure hardened against the rigors of cosmic warfare, proved resilient against the planet's scouring assault. It stood as a defiant beacon, the last bastion of resistance on a world otherwise resigned to its fate. As they fought through the heart of the gate, men and women Causwain had known for years gave their last, in a forlorn hope. The strobes of weapon light and warp flame showing her images of hell she could not unsee. Sergeant Drucius, his plastic helmet melting under the vomit of some grotesque demon, his flesh and bone fizzling. Captain Isian, her chain blade clogged, was smashed into a wall, her body exploding like an overripe melon, as the bronze and blood-red monstrosity slammed her repeatedly into a wall. The wail of Private Bolland echoed as incorporeal beings, neither male nor female, flayed his flesh from his living body. She staggered, her gaze falling upon her men and women. They fought like the Emperor's chosen, their fates accepted with the stoicism that only the best of the Astra Militarum could muster.
Fight on, soldiers of the Emperor!
Corswain bellowed, summoning her remaining strength.
Make these demons regret the day they dared to defy the Imperium.
Just meters from the beating heart of the warp gate, its metallic core pulsating in a disturbing rhythm, Corswain readied for one last push. Behind her, a being of shadow and light materialized, standing almost 12 meters tall. Its great wings beat, and the heat of 1,000 ancient worlds reached out, caressing her skin. Turning towards the great avian behemoth, Corswain tried to cry out, but the heat of its presence stole her breath. It reached out a giant hand, almost gently, to caress her. Sickly flames the colour of oil-stained water leapt from its fingers, embracing Corswain, burning her armour, flesh, and bones. General Eloise Corswain was no more. In the Imperium, the fate of General Corswain and the warriors of the Fourth Army is not known. The record sealed and sequestered, for in the darkness that is the Imperium of Man, knowledge is a threat, and brave heroes are crushed under the cold logic of the needs of the Imperium.